That car we used to troll Focus STs. Oh my god! Oh my god! The way my eyes had to open up so. Hello everyone! This is the Audi RS7. But before we move on to the review, let's meet the person who actually gave us this car. Tony, how's my brother? Good. So guys, this is my friend Tony, and he actually gave us the car to review. So if you want to find cars from VW Midrand, make sure you contact him. But now, let's move on to the review. Let's go ahead. Yeah. Okay guys, I am pretty lost for words. I mean, I said it before, I'm gonna say it again. You guys are gonna see the driving part of this. It is absolutely mental, and just as good as it is inside and to drive, it is in terms of looks. I mean, this car is absolutely beautiful. It is such a gorgeous spec. Let me just widen the angle here so you can see more about it. I mean, I'd just like to start and compare it to the latest one out there. In comparison to the C8 generation RS7, this RS7 is very subtle. I mean, apart from the slightly wider fenders and the big air vents in the front with the slightly bigger grille and some sort of angling and detailing heading over the side, this could look like an A7 or an S7 with some different wheels. This now has the carbon fiber back, so as you can see, there's carbon fiber on the sides, there's carbon fiber on the front with the carbon fiber front splitter as well. And in terms of comparison to the latest generation has gone even wilder. I mean, the fenders have gone wider, the bonnet has larger raising, the grille's bigger, the lights are different, the front's bigger, so they really have set themselves apart. But I must say, there's just something about this car that I absolutely love. The styling is just beautiful. It is such a smart, executive, premium feeling and looking car, but at the same time delivers performance that not many can do. So let's head to the back where Eugene can tell you a bit about the back of the design there. Hello everyone. So I'm at the back right now so that we can actually see what it is like to see from the rear side. And honestly, it is stunning back here. The A7 has always looked so good and so beautiful because of this how subtle it is at times. You know, with most other cars like an M5 or an E63, you see a lot of things happening, but with here, it's like a regular A7. Apart from like the badge over there, you wouldn't really tell it's nothing more than a standard A7. Of course, you have the smoked out tail lights, and of course, you have the spoiler right here with a button inside that we'll show you in a minute. But it's really nice. You can see the carbon bits that you have over here, the oval exhaust of which you will hear in a minute, because well, this car just sounds amazing. But well, yeah, because this is a hatchback after all. It's almost the hatchback version of an RS6. So now let's actually head inside so that we can chat about what it's like to be in the interior. Okay guys, so now that we are in the interior of the RS7, it is really stunning in here. I mean, for a 10-year-old car, because the first generation RS7 came out in 2014, which is so hard to believe. The materials still feel very put together. You have Alcantara on the door card right here. You have carbon fiber, because it is an Audi RS product, right here, just swaying from the passenger side all the way to the driver's side. And I think this is the Audi R8 steering wheel with the big massive airbag right here and the RS7 badge. But other than the fact that you have the RS7 badge on the steering wheel in the gauge cluster, it kind of is a more subtle performance car, apart from like the RS badge on the gear shift as well, and the badging I just told you about. It does feel like a standard A7, which is not a bad thing because an A7 is a really classy car. It is amazing. The materials are honestly up to standards with something even like a 5 Series or even an E-Class. And of course you can see I have electronic seats because it is a performance sedan and I expect it in a performance sedan. But now the one feature I actually really like and I really miss about all the Audis is how the infotainment system comes up. So I'm pretty sure you've seen that you haven't seen an infotainment system anywhere in the interior right now, because it's off. But now if I actually tap this button right over here, it flips up. That's something like James Bond would have, of how Q would be briefing him about telling him, oh James, you need to really be pushing the button. Yeah mate, you really do. So now let's actually turn on the car. As you can see, steering wheel moves down and much of everything else comes on. You do have a little bit of a digital gauge cluster in the center,
But this really was kind of the beginning of most gauge clusters having digital gauge cluster, and of course Audi was the first to do a lot of the technologies that most performance cars have today. Of course, you have leather on the steering wheel, paddle shifters feel amazing, although they do feel a bit plasticky, but that's honestly expected. You know, that is a bit expected. You have an old multimedia disc changer right here, which just tells you how old this car is. And of course, you have most of your functions right here. You have auto park over there, and you can also turn off the parking sensors as well. And obviously, we did speak about the rear spoiler. You can just tap this button, and then the rear spoiler just subtly comes up. You can't see it in the rear view mirror, but it is up right now, obviously with the lights on. You have your auto zone climate controls, and then you can obviously see here in the center console much of everything of the functions of the infotainment system, and obviously the driving dynamics as well. So if you open here, you have a cigarette ashtray as well. Obviously, please do not be using this because smoking is bad for you. And wow, it is honestly stunning. Of course, you have a glove box, and you have 2 USB charging ports. Of course, this is an older car, and you also have an aux port. That just tells you how old this car is. But in general, it feels so high quality in here. I mean, compared to maybe like an M5 of the time, this just does feel like a more modern car compared to that car. Obviously, with the new A7 with the 2 center infotainment systems right here, that is a better car because it is a newer car. But for the price that you're getting for this car, it is honestly unbelievable.
Okay guys, so now let's actually move into the practicality space of the Audi RS7, because it is a hatchback in a sense, and the way you actually open the boot is either by pressing the button underneath the tailgate or holding the middle button right here. And there is a Mateo inside. I'm sorry about that. We just wanted to demonstrate just how practical it is, and yes, it does fit someone. So now talking about the rear boot space about this car, it is a very long hatchback compared to something like an M5, an E63, or much of its rivals. This is a very long and practical space. You can fit luggage in here. You can go for long distance journeys for weeks and weeks on end. And obviously, since it is quattro and it has a lot of power and torque, it will just keep hauling and hauling for days. So now let's actually move into the engine part, because well, this is the point of the Audi RS7. Okay guys, we are now at my favorite part possibly about the Audi RS7. I mean, like I said, this car is absolutely stunning inside and out, and this is no different. This 4-liter V8 twin turbo from Audi produces 412 kilowatts, so roughly 570 horsepower, and 700 newton meters of torque. And to top that, it does have quattro all-wheel drive as well. And if you know what quattro is, that is the king of four-wheel drive. This car gets going 0 to 100 in claimed 3.9, but tested 3.6 seconds. It is absolutely insane. And with the de-restrictor, you can actually hit speeds of over 300 kilometers an hour. So for you Americans, over 186 miles per hour in this premium saloon sedan, hatch sedan, I don't even know what you want to call it at this point. All I know is that I want to call it beautiful, and that's what it is. I mean, this motor sounds stunning. We're going to get to that now with this beautiful exhaust. And this is the C7.5 generation. Little people knew that there was actually a performance variant of this that had a mere 605 horsepower and 800 newton meters of torque, and 0 to 100 in 3.3 seconds. But I mean, this is more than enough. Compared to the cars that we've driven, this thing is utterly insane. So let's head to the rear side to hear that engine note, and we've got a little surprise for you just after that.
Okay guys, so we are finally driving the wonderful Audi RS7, and I can just feel underneath my right foot is a beast of a car. It's honestly, oh my days. That was just a little tiny step, a tiny, like 2%, just 2%, and it already was just in another world. It is utterly amazing. Of course, I did put it into sport mode so you can actually feel the car actually liven up a bit. You know, the exhaust opens up, you can hear the burbles a bit more, and wow, it's honestly just incredible. And of course, it does come from an executive luxury sedan, so you do get the elements of everything in this car. I mean, you get the luxuriousness of an A7, but then you get the performance of a sports car or even a supercar. I mean, this will handedly beat a 458 off the line with no sweat, because obviously Audi and Quattro, and we all know how Quattro works. When you want to step on it, it will beat everything, and I mean everything. I mean, yesterday I actually watched a couple videos on this, and I remember when Carwow did a video and they raced it against an Aventador, and it was honestly unbelievable, just honestly unbelievable. So like, oh my god oh my god, the way my eyes had to open up so fast is unbelievable. It's honestly unbelievable, because like the last fast car I actually kind of drove, or fast Audi if I can say properly, was an Audi RS3, but that only had about 294 kilowatts. This has over 412 kilowatts and 700 newton meters of torque. It has as much torque as a Lamborghini Aventador, well, a standard Aventador. So we actually go again. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Lord, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for keeping us alive. And well, if you guys want to keep seeing videos like this, just, you know, hit the subscribe button and just always continue, you know, watching like this, because we do this for you guys, because you guys enjoy our stuff, you enjoy what we critique and how we talk about a car, and it's honestly unbelievable. I mean, like just barely stepping on it, barely, and the turbo's already spooling up and they're getting ready to like just give you so much power and kick. It's unbelievable just how fast this car is. I mean, this will easily beat any Golf GTI, any Polo GTI. I'm coming after you Polo drivers, and honestly do it in such utter style and luxury. And of course I have to talk about the heads-up display, because if you're driving a fast car like this, you really do have to look up at times. And so yes, it is a luxury sedan. You know, this does go up against a Panamera Turbo and a Panamera GTS, as well as like an M5 and an E63. But out of all of those cars, this car is a bit more subtle in a sense, if I can actually put it like that. It's a bit more subtle, it's a bit more under the radar. You don't really know that you're looking at a performance car, well, other than like the carbon bits and the different set of wheels, unless it's actually just flying by you really, really, really quick. And oh my days, I think my heart is like still pumping after that first acceleration. Oh my days, it's unbelievable just how quick this car is. But you get a lot for what you're paying for this car, especially knowing it came out at a time when this generation's M5 was still rear-wheel drive. So in a sense, this is kind of a better car, although the BMW might be a bit more fun to drive. But in a common way, in a common sense, this just makes more sense. And if I can actually see in the distance, if you can point it right there, there's a Club Sport GTI all the way that way. And I'm not going to do anything, because I know if I do anything, he'll go cry to his wife, knowing like he got beaten by just an executive Audi. And my days, it's so comfortable. I mean, over the surfaces of the road, it doesn't intrude into the cabin. It's very solid, but it's also very plush and just very subtle. You know, it is an executive sedan. You get the luxuriousness first, as I said before. And wow, this and the RS6 honestly are my two very favorite Audis, apart from an R8. But in terms of like everyday drivability, sportiness, and literally having everything you want in a car, these two cars just tick my boxes every single time. Okay guys, I have now hopped into the front seats of this beautiful RS7. Once again, thank you to the guys at VW Midrand. And although we say the things about the Golfs and how we price this in the same range as a Golf, or even that of a BMW or similar Audis, we don't have any hate for Golf. The cars are beautiful cars, they are superb to drive, and they handle well. Obviously you can tell that by searching what Nürburgring lap times Golf actually put out. It's just that sometimes the drivers can put the Golf name a bit down. But I mean, you Golf drivers love your Golfs too much to let what we say affect you. But coming to this, the last performance almost A7 I drove was what Audi offered in the same generation in the 3-litre bi-turbo diesel, which ran 235 kilowatts and 640 newton meters of torque with Quattro.
and so it ran really strong. But this is just on a whole new level. I was saying to the guys in the car with us that car we used to troll Focus STs and GTRs and your Clio RSs, but this, I feel like Eugene said, I feel like I could take on Lambos and other weird supercars.
Guys, so we're at a robot right now, and Mateo's just gonna floor it a bit. I'm
gonna let them get a bit of space, because with this car you need all the space you can get to accelerate.
Yeah, you need a road that's, oh my god, that is so fast.
It is like breaks the words, like it takes the words out of me to see this.
It just holds.
You don't even use 1% of the power in the car, and you can become illegal. You can do some very naughty things with the power under your foot in this car, which we aren't. We obviously always stick to the speed limit because that's the right thing to do. But I mean, this car is absolutely absurd, and there's no amount of words that I can use to really put the love I have for this car into display for you guys.
There's a bit of an open stretch right now.
This car,
oh my god,
still half throttle. I mean, it just doesn't lack any power, doesn't lack any emotion. It's just fun in a different way. Sure, the generation of M5 that this competed with was rear-wheel drive, could slide out, you can have that sort of fun. But the way this thing goes is mental. There's really nothing like this to me. The performance this puts out in the way this does it is just unheard of, especially from this generation. And I mean, Audi's always been known to do that. They've always been known to just be subtle but heavily performance biased in terms of acceleration, handling, and delivery of power. No one actually does that the way Audi does that. And I am a bit biased towards Audi. I grew up being an Audi person, and this really plants that down for me. I mean, it really makes me love the brand even more than what I have always loved it. And let Eugene just tell you a bit about what he thinks about in the passenger side here.
Yeah, so guys, I'm pretty sure you heard me already say oh my god like almost 4 times, and of course there's a polo driver busy driving stupidly. Yeah, what I can say, oh my god. So that's probably the 5th time I've said it, or the 6th time, and every time
just makes me laugh.
Every time it happens, you literally have to prepare yourself, because it's just out of nowhere. It's virtually out of, it's like one moment it's a docile A7, but the next moment it's a ferocious SVJ in a sense, except that has a V12 and this has a twin turbo V8. But it's honestly amazing. It's so plush, it's so amazing. So let's actually head to the conclusion so that you guys can actually know what we think about this car, because I think we do have quite a bit to say. Now that we've come to the end of this wonderful review, as we always say, what do we think about it? I am honestly, and we both are honestly at a loss for words. The driving dynamics of this car is unbelievable. You have the Quattro system, you have the bi-turbo V8, and you just have the Audi-ness of this car. And you have the classic styling as well. It is honestly shocking and unbelievable. Honestly, this I would classify as a certified dream car. In both of our bucket lists, it's honestly so amazing. So again, I just want to say a big thank you to VW Midrand for allowing us to actually come and review this car. And while we do have a lot more cars in common with them coming in the future, so make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.